Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome back in our partner enablement video series. So today we will be going to talk about how to pitch a Azure landing zone solution to a customer. Well, here is the agenda of this video. So we'll be going to talk about what is the landing zone, what are the features, what are the benefits, and then I will be going to talk about the reference architectures. I'm really apologize for the spelling mistake here for the architecture, but that's is the reference architecture where will be going to run, and we'll be going to show you our enterprise level of architecture of a landing zone, right? So let's quickly jump to the introduction and start with what is the landing zones are. So landing zones are output of multiple subscription Azure environment that accounts for scalability, security, governance, networking, and identifications. Azure landing zone enable application migration, modernization, and innovation at the enterprise scale in the Azure. These zones consider all platform resources that are required to support the customer application portfolio and do not differentiate between infrastructure as a service and the platform as a service. So the what exactly a landing zone is. So let's take it this way. So when you build in a house or you build in a building, so to connect a water supply to all of the houses, what you are going to do, you will be going to do set up the piping in the house, but at the end of the day there will be a one main connection from where all the supply will be going to happen to the all the blocks or all the floors inside a building, right? That's how a landing zone work, which will be going to be a in point for all the resources which is deployed in the other subscription. It will be going as a shared uh, subscription where it's going to be have a shared services, will be going to have a network securities, it will be going to have a networking components, management and monitoring components, securities and things like that. And from there it will be going to connect to the other subscription as a spoke, and providing the service to the re- to the rest of the application. Now in this case with the landing zone, another thing is it's going to be a one entry point for all your subscriptions. So you will not be going to expose all of your subscriptions to the internet or to the external services. Second, uh, there will be a one single point of entry, and from the one location you will be able to connect rest of the subscription, right? And then with the landing zone, what you do, a part of connectivity or a part of exposing your applications, you will be going to have the IAM and the policy be in place from where you will be going to manage your rest of the subscription. Well, let's talk about the features of a landing zone. So security and compliances, yet is to provide you the security and compliances on infrastructure and the application, the cloud, and all the data residency which is there for the services. Second, standardized account or tenancy, centralized monitoring and log management solutions are generally included in the landing zone offering, and is that ability to determine the account or tenancy in order to enforce the security and accountability. Now what that mean of standard account or tenancy, in this case what's going to be happen, like your all the subscription will be going to be in the one tenant, and from there a centralized landing zone subscription will be there from where all the log management solutions, all the monitoring solution will be enforced to the rest of the subscriptions or rest of the application or rest of the network, which will be connecting with the landing zone. Now let's think about it. One thing is a landing zone can be in a different subscription or can be in the same subscription where other resources is being running. But to do a better segregations, it's better to have a one subscription specifically for the landing zone, and the another subscription for the rest of the services from where you can connect to the landing zone and take the advantage of the landing zone. Identity and access management, that's something which is also included with the landing zone. IAMs allow you to determine the password standard, roles, policies, and enforce the access control. True. With the landing zone, what you're going to do, you will be going to create your management groups. You will be going to have your root management group, and then you will be going to have your sub management group, and then you will be going to have subscription attached to the management group, from where what you can do, you can manage your identity and access. It's a simplest way of doing that, from where what you need to do, you just need to provide the access to the management group, and access will be automatically inherited to the subscription which is assigned to that specific management group. So it's allow you to easy identity and the access management. Now benefits, right? So there's a lot of benefits for having the Azure landing zone. Reduce the manual efforts, improve the quality, faster service delivery. Yes. uh, so it's reduce the manual efforts, because you don't need to worry about thinking about connecting your all the subscription to the on-premise. Improve the quality and faster service delivery. Enhance the scalability, security, and governance. Increase the workload resiliency and performance. Reduce the operation cloud cost. How? So with the landing zone, what you're going to do, you're going to put all of your network resources inside that, and from there you will be going to connect rest of the subscription. You're not going to deploy a same set of network component again and again in another subscription. That's how it save the operational cost inside the cloud. Greater operational roger through shared service model. High agility through well-defined operating model. So these are the benefits. Now, how basically you can sell to the customer? That's one of the biggest question. We understand what is the landing zone, what are the features, what are the benefits, right? Now let's think about how to sell to the customer. So let's say there is a customer who is new to the cloud journey, right? And he is looking for an expansion inside the cloud, or specifically in the Azure cloud, and he might be thinking about, or he might be having running 10, 15, 20 applications, or running hundreds of workloads inside the Azure, right? For that specific standpoint, landing zone is going to be become a very important, because with the landing zone, it's allow customer to do a more scalability, more security, and more governance, right? So that's where a landing zone can come in place. Now, for as I told you, for any customer who is new to the Azure, or who is deploying a first application or first subscription to Azure, for them having a landing zone would be a benefit, so that they can have a one single point of incoming connection, or incoming gate for all the subscription, and then it's allowed to do the network resiliency, performance, scalability, security, and governance. At the same time, let's take an example where is a customer who do have a 10, 15 subscriptions, or maybe 3 or 4 subscription, and he is deploying a separate network services to all of them, which again increase the operational cost for him, because ultimately the same components or same network components he is deploying into the all 4 subscriptions. So that's where a landing zone can be come in place, can have a one network running with all the network services, can have the monitoring and management service in top of that, have the policy and IAM, and then can be expanded to the all the other subscription, which will be going to save the operational cost for the customer. And with the landing zone, you can also solve the problem of connecting the Azure resources to the on-premise, because with the landing zone, it's allow you to have a centralized connectivity point for the hybrid connectivities, and all your workloads will be going to connect to the landing zone, and then the landing zone is going to be request to be forward to the all the workloads which has been there in the spoke. Now, this is how your enterprise architecture landing zone looks like. So you will be going to see that there is a multiple things. There will be identity and access management on the top, and then you will be going to have your management group assigned inside the tenant, and then you will be going to have a management subscription for management, and then the connectivity subscription, where you will be going to have your all the network resources, and then you will be going to have your landing zones, where you will be going to have services like a load balancer, DNS, key vaults, uh, VMs, things like that, right? That's how its landing zone connect, and then with the same landing zone you can have your DevOps to be integrated. Now, a landing zone can be a combination of multiple subscription. So enterprise level of landing zone can be have a different subscription for identity, different subscription for management, and different subscription for connectivity, and different subscription for all the other services. Or all of these services can be in a one subscription where you can put all of those things and can work as a landing zone. Now, what are the key components of this landing zone? Standardized account and tenancy, identity and access management, security, networking, and the automation. So these are the 5 key components of this landing zone and the refresh architecture which is there. So identity and access management basically will be used to define how your policies, how your access level, how your password standard will be there. Security will be going to have a multiple things like defining the policies and providing the security layers on top of the landing zone. Network will be going to help you to structure your network security groups, networking connectivity requirement that allow you to connect and expansion it to the on premise and on the other cloud resources. Automation will be is going to work as an infrastructure as code and going to ensure you that your configurations are managed in a repeatable way, so that if there is any uh, reconfiguration is required, that will be going to a very quick way. Most important thing is standardized account and tenancy. You will be going to have a standardized tenancy and the subscription structure which will be going to be there inside a landing zone, and then you can follow that to do the expansion to the other workloads as well. Well, here are the some of the consideration for landing zone. Fundamental choice of you will need to make your landing zone will to offer for the for each workload and or for the each organization. That's something is your choice how exactly you want to do a landing zone. It's better to have a one landing zone for each organization and then do the expansion. For example, if you going to use the Azure compute, ensure you have a maximum effort in the automation, the management and the administration for these systems. It's also interesting to note down that the step of using the modern PaaS services are most often that's not is a lot of similar than you might initially expecting. Depending on the workload type, you can directly leverage the high scalability and effective Azure PaaS services, container registry, and the Azure function. So these are the some of the considerations. So let's take an example like you might be running some of your applications on Azure and they are the .NET application. So it's better to have them running on the PaaS services because you will be going to have a less overhead to manage the operating system security on top of that. Yes, you do need to manage a layer 7 security on the web app, but you will not be able to manage the things like installing the security updates, patching, things like that. And also it's better if you can use more and more PaaS services to minimize your overhead of administration. Well, how the decision happens. So this is the tree of how cloud adoption framework, which is the one of the crucial part, and landing zone is the one of the discussion point inside the cloud adoption framework. Now this is the tree how exactly you will be going to select which workload type you need to select. So let's say if you're doing a migration, if you're doing the new build, both of them have their different tree. If you're going with the lift and shift, you can do the migration directly to the VMs, or you can do optimization and you can migrate to the app services. But if you really want to do a not a cost optimization, if you really want to do the cloud optimizations, then you can do have a bunch of other services. Like if you really want to do it on a microservices, if you want to run on a containerizations, you do have a bunch of options like app services, Azure function, container instance. AKS is one of the widely used services for the microservice. So that's how your decision tree work for which kind of resources you will be going to use. Now let's talk about the scalable and modular. So no single solution fit in all the technical environments. A few landing zone implementation options are helpful to you meet the deployment and operations need for growing cloud folio. You do have a uh, two types of options to deploy a landing zone. First is scalable and second one is modular. Now let's start with scalable. With the scalable, all Azure landing zones support a cloud adoption at the scale by providing the repeatable environment with consistent configuration and control regardless of workload or Azure resources deployed to the each landing zone instance. Right now, what is the modular? All landing zone provided a modular approach to build out your environment based on the common set of design area. Is the design are can be easily extended to support the distinctive needs of various technology platforms like Azure Database, Kubernetes, and Azure Virtual Desktop. So these are the some of the two types of the landing zone deployment which are there. With the scalable, you will be going to the option to have the scalable and repeatable environment with the same constant, same kind of configuration and control, regardless of what kind of workload you are deploying it. With the modular, you will be going to have a more of transformed technologies like Azure SQL, Kubernetes, and Azure Virtual Desktop. Well, let's move to the demos. In the demo, I will be going to show you uh, how your landing zone deployment can be happen through the Azure, or how you can take the advantage of your Azure blueprint to deploy a landing zone. Oops. Well, I am in Azure subscription. So in the subscription, you will be see I have bunch of resources already there, but there's a no landing zone has been there. So to deploy the landing zone, uh, there is a two approach. Either you can use a Terraform template to deploy that, or either you can use Azure Blueprint also. So Azure Blueprint do have a predefined templates which you can use to create the resources or to create the landing zone also. So how you can do it? For that, you just need to click on create, and here you can select one of your blueprint which you want to use. So you will see you do have a bunch of predefined I can say a blueprint which you can use. So like if you want to really want to have a basic networking, if you want to do and go with the cloud adoption foundations, cloud adoption framework foundation, it do have all the artifacts which you can use. And then you do have a blueprint to deploy your landing zone. So this is the landing zone blueprint which you can use, and accordingly you can add your more of the artifacts inside it, right? So define the name of the landing zone and define the location in which subscription is going to be, select, and then you can define your artifacts. You can have an add more artifact inside of it, and you can click on save, and then you can, and it will be going to save inside your blueprint. And from there, what you can do, once this has been saved, you will be able to see what is your definition look like. So yep, you will see I do have one of the landing zone which I have deployed it, but somehow that a deployment get failed due to some certain reasons. But yep, so as of now my blueprint has been created, and then from here I can do and publish it. I just need to define the version of it and then click on publish. So as soon as this has been published, it will be going to publish this one, and then from here you will be able to see what kind of assignment do have. So as of now you will see there is a assignment which is already failed due to some certain reasons, and if you go here you would be able to see what are the errors there, right? So these are the error like artifact vnet deployment of type verified due to the following errors, right? So the deployment has been failed. Now what you can do, once your uh, blueprint has been defined, or you have the blueprint already there, what you need to do, you need to go here, and from here you need to assign the blueprint on which subscription do you want to do. You just need to select the location, in which location you want to do. So let's take an example. I want to do in the center India, and what kind of value do you want to use, what kind of region you want to deploy. So I want to select in a center India and define the value. So let's take an example. I am defining the contents of, and then I need to define the reason which I want to use for log analytics, define the AD object for AD group, and define the network IP, what kind of IP address space I will be going to use, and what are the Azure migration solution will be going to be there. So these are the reason in which I can deploy that, and then I just click on the assign. So as soon as I did the assignment, it will be going to deploy my landing zone with the configuration which I have defined. Again, I can add a more artifact inside this blueprint, and this blueprint can have a more granular level of resources be added, and then it can get published. So you will be able to see what kind of version has been published. Now if you go back, or if you go here, if you go click on track, you would be able to see what is the provisioning state looks like for your new blueprint. You can go inside and you can see what exactly is happening, and you know what are the activity logs by going on view activity log from here. So you would be able to see how your activity logs looks like, what are the operation has been completed, what are the operation is still in progress. So that's eventually how you the manage the deployment inside the blueprint. At the same time, if you really want to change a definition, or if you really want to add a more artifacts, you can do that. You just need to click here, you need to click on edit blueprint, and from here you can add a more artifact here. So you can select what kind of architect you want to do, what is the templates and parameter will be going to be there, what is the artifact name is going to be, and it will be automatically get deployed as soon as you have submitted the, or if you have saved the definition. Now you will see this is still in deployed, and this is being deployed. So how you can see, you would be able to see inside the activity log, or you would be able to see inside the all the Azure resources. So you can go on all the resources, you would be able to see some of the resources has been deployed. So most probably this will be going to give you the errors because of the ID group which I need to create, because the user does not have a full access on the Active Directory. But I can see there is a resource has been deployed, resource group has been deployed. So if I go to the resource group, you will be able to see, yes, I am getting the resource group has been getting the deployment of the resource group has been happening. And in the back end, you would be able to see what kind of resources has been deployed. So as of now, you can see this is the resource group which has been deployed. And if you go into the activity log, you would be able to see all kind of operations which are happening through this blueprint. And then the same blueprint, you can add a more artifact inside of it, and you can use it. So yep, you can see a lot of resources is being deployed, and you will see now more resources has been there. So if I go inside to this conteso dot manager, you would be able to see more resources being deployed here. So you see this deployment has been already completed, but somehow it's not showing that deployment due to certain reasons. But this is how the blueprint can be used to do the deployments, right? And the deployment can be happen directly from the blueprint. So this is about the landing zone, but you do have a more uh, of of the templates for rest of the things which you can use. Specifically, I'm talking about the blueprint. But for the landing zone, yes, you do can use the Azure blueprint, and at the same time, you can use the templates, or I can say Terraform templates to deploy the landing zones as well. Well, you will be able to see more resources is being deployed, and more resource group is being deployed through the blueprint. Well, that's it in the demo. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming videos, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.